I've spent the past 7 years traveling the world perfecting my craft. You see, I'm something of a magician, inventor, and chocolate maker. So quiet up and listen down. Nope, scratch that, reverse it.
Mr. Wonka, I can see you're a man of great ingenuity.
What are you doing?
I'm making chocolate, of course. How do you like it? Dark, white, nutty, absolutely insane.
Many people have come here to sell chocolate. They've all been crushed by the chocolate cartel. You can't get a shop without selling chocolate, and you can't sell chocolate without a shop.
No daydreaming.
What are we gonna do, Willie?
Huh.
Huh?
Huh.
A double huh?
Do you have a pencil and paper?
Uh-huh.
I got an idea. I know things haven't been easy for you. They're gonna get better.
You promise?
I pinky promise. That's the most solemn vow there is.
Where do we start?
A good chocolate chip is simple.
Where's this?
It's just weird. What's happening? Ooh, what's a chocolate that makes it fly?
Let's find out, shall we?
Who's for a hammer job? Nothing to see here. Just a small group of people defying the laws of gravity.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Gallery Gourmet, my name is Willy Wonka.
He's good. Too good. Pretty sure I've gained about 150 pounds in the last 2 weeks.
You could change her life, Mr. Wonka. Change all their lives.
Run away!
Every good thing in this world started with a dream. So you hold on to yours.
Here we go, Mama.
Mark my words, this is gonna be the greatest chocolate shop the world has ever seen. So you're the funny little man who's been following me.
I will have you know that I am a perfectly respectable size for an Oompa Loompa.
An Oompa what now?
Allow me to refresh your memory.
Oh, I don't think I want to hear that.
Too late. I've started dancing now. Once we've started, we can't stop.
Films I'm finally seeing. One a day, all June long. And then after, if you're asking, yes, I'll be podcasting. 'Cause movie month's back, and I'll be the man. To watch and podcast all month long. Yeah, movie month's back. 30 straight days again. And I hope each day you come along. Please come along, don't just stay here for this song. 'Cause it's movie month time, this is the movie month. Ooh, 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 honey, it's movie month time, yeah, this is the movie month. Ooh, 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 honey, it's movie month time, yeah, this is the movie month. Ooh, 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 please listen to me as I talk movies.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Reach out, touch what was once just in your imagination. Don't be shy. It's all
Happy Saturday, everybody. Yes, for the second day in a row, I am out walking my dog. I am holding a tiny microphone, and I am recording out in the wild. Again, I don't know why I'm doing a vampire voice, but I am excited to talk about today's movie from 2023, the musical comedy, musical comedy, Wonka. This is my second Shala movie this year, and I am tickled by how much I enjoyed this movie. I remember first hearing that Timothy Chalamet was going to be Wonka, and I'm like, God, they just can't help themselves. They have to keep dipping into IPs, dipping into, existing, stories, existing worlds, and remaking things and prequels and blah, blah, blah. And then I think I saw the first trailer and I thought, well, at least it looks, like a fun movie. But here's the thing. It was a huge success. And it made like 600-something million worldwide. Critically acclaimed, financially, it was a big hit. I'm sorry, this is really early on the rail trail. And my dog has already gone. I'll clean it up. Number 2. So I'm being a good citizen. And I'm taking out the poop bag. I'm doing something different with the microphone today. I'm holding it in my hand. One hand on the microphone, the other hand picking up poopy poopy poop. See, I was going to do this episode as a musical, but I thought, well, that's ridiculous. But here's the thing. I either didn't know or forgot. I must have just forgot that this movie was a musical. I don't know what I expected. I don't know why it wouldn't be. But I started watching it, and all of a sudden Timothy Chalamet, we see him, and he starts singing. I go, wait, what? Oh, it's a musical. Oh, okay. And from there until the very end, I'm not going to lie, I was enthralled. I loved this movie. There's a bit of nostalgia with it because, unlike the Tim Burton weird Johnny Depp Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which I think was a hit and I think people like, but I've never seen it. I've seen bits and pieces, clips here and there. I know, Norman Bates is in it, the good doctor, Freddie Highmore. I know Johnny Depp. I know they have one guy playing all the different Oompa Loompas. And I'm sure, I don't know, but I'm assuming Helena Bonham Carter is in it because Tim Burton directed it. But I never saw it. I maybe started watching it once. I feel like there were moments and I said, never mind. And I just never got into it. But the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original Gene Wilder, movie, I adore. I love all the music. I love all the characters. I love Gene Wilder is a genius. And it's funny, there's a Gene Wilder Netflix documentary that I want to watch now. But what I loved about it is that Gene Wilder he plays this, chocolate factory owner with all these kids, and he brings them around to all these wonderful things. But he's such a dick in it. He's got this menacing kind of bubbling underneath of I will give you everything if you follow the rules. But he also delights in kind of not being great. I don't know. It's just, I love it. I love it. And with this, it's a continuation. Or I shouldn't say a continuation, but this is, to me, the same world, the same universe. This is easily a prequel, and I believe it even says it's a prequel, to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This is not its own thing. It's unique. It makes its own mark, but it is, it's funny. I keep saying it's funny. We interviewed a coworker of mine. We're interviewing someone the other day for a position. We were interviewing a couple of candidates, and they said, what is your advice working where you work? And I just said, you kind of just kind of fit in, go with the flow, while also making your mark. See where you fit in, get into the thing, but also make your mark. And I was like, I don't know if that even is that deep, but I was like, I just thought of that. I just made that up, and I was like, that's pretty good. I even said that to them, and I go, I just made that up. But this movie definitely makes its own mark, but not doesn't give up the past in order to do so. In other words, and I'll go back to the Ghostbusters 2016. It was its own thing, but it was completely its own thing. In other words, it wasn't part of the Ghostbusters world. It didn't. It showed you some actors from the old Ghostbusters world, but it was its own complete, unique spin-off starting from scratch. And to me, that's where I think some of its, some of the negativity for it, or some of its, it worked against it to me. If it was, I keep saying this, it has nothing to do with this movie, but I keep saying if they just said, we're getting the Ghostbusters back together, we're doing our own version, or we're franchising it or something, I would have liked that movie that much more. And I didn't really dislike it. It's just that's what took something away from me. Whereas this, right away, they're playing clips, they're playing moments of, pure imagination. And to me, that tells me everything I need to know that this is part of that world. And just the music was so much like the music of the original. And I'm trying to think what this reminded me of. I didn't see the full new Matilda movie, but it has that big, fun family, fun musical feeling to it. My dog's going again. Plus people are walking by, so I'm going to be a little quiet. Are we going there? Hi. Oh, no. Oh, no, nothing going on. It's just some drippings. Okay. So, I went into this movie completely not sure how to feel about it, but I knew that it was that it was generally received positively, and I love when a movie lives up to that expectations, and you watch it and you get it. And sometimes I was reading something about a movie I watched just the other day. They're like, I don't get it. What do people care this much about this movie? And I get it. I get it with this. It gave me all the emotions. It made me laugh. It made me to cry. It made me like. I am very easily kind of manipulated when it comes to movies, emotionally manipulated, where I get these little chills like, oh my goodness, something cool just happened, or it's just like these moments that make me, and you get these little chills in your back. I don't know, in like the neck. This movie did that. And I mean, he's already a superstar, but my God, Timothy Chalamet is like a megastar. Now, I just saw him in Dune 2 the other day, and it's very much like he has some charm, definitely acting skills, but he also is it's a very serious role in a very serious movie. Whereas this is a very lighthearted, joyous, fun, family fun movie, and he as the lead just shines. Any of the kind of sarcastic, older, curmudgeon-y character aspects of Willy Wonka that Gene Wilder has later on in life are completely devoid here. Here, he's just about making chocolate, and helping people that are, his friends. And I loved the moment you heard Slugworth. You thought, well, wait a minute, Slugworth and Wonka actually work together. Right later on, they're kind of partners, and that plays out. The Oompa Loompa. I mean, Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompa was great. The chocolate cartel, is that what it's called? The chocolatier cartel or whatever. That whole thing was ridiculous and hilarious, and I'm a fan of all three of those actors. I've seen him in various different things. I feel like the Slugworth guy, I've known him from, was he in the Paddington movies? But I also think it was like Series of Unfortunate Events. I've seen him in so many things, I think. Then there's the bald guy, Matt Lucas, who I first fell in love with from Crodman Dune. And if you don't know Crodman Dune, that's okay. Not many people do. But it's a show probably about 20 years ago. Kevin Hart was on it as a wizard who didn't know how to do magic. It was like a swords and sandals fantasy TV show, but there was also like a comedy, like a modern type comedy. And it only lasted like a handful of episodes, but I loved the episodes that did last. And then the other guy who I recognized, I watched him on The Wrong Guys. I think I've seen him in things. I couldn't tell you his name. I've just seen him in many things. So fan of all of them. Olivia Colman, awesome as like the boarding lady who locks up all these people who don't pay their fees because they sign their freedom away. All the people who sign their freedom away who become Willie's friends, and the main girl who, I guess she was on This Is Us, I think, if I read that right, and she played Noodle. because she always thought that's what they called her because they thought her thing was an N. But I was like, no, it's going to be an S for Slugworth. And I was trying to turn the N. I go, wait, that would be a Z. And it did work out that it was a Z. But it turns out she was a Slugworth. And, at the end, she gets, I assume she inherits all the Slugworth candy and works with Willy Wonka. And I can't, like, the music, so catchy. So, like, there was a moment where Wonka and Noodle, there's this whole musical number, which really just them. And I think they went to go do something. They're running away, and they grab these balloons. And it's just like they fly away in these balloons. They're dancing on this glass roof of this building. It is gorgeous. It is like, it feels magical. It is just, I don't think I can say enough good things about this movie. I am tickled because I knew it was going to be, it was well received again. But I don't think I was going into this with the mindset of how much it would connect with me, how much I was just like, oh, I'm in on this. Oh, I'm loving this. I like these big musical, fun, kind of hyper-realistic worlds that, that Wonka, it's not like completely unique. Like I've seen it in other things, but I love it. Maybe that's why I love it. I just was thoroughly entertained the entire movie, top to bottom, T to B. I can't tell you like a moment where I go, oh, I didn't like that part. Not one thing I say, oh, but I didn't like that part. I actually, maybe there's one part where I go, well, wait, what happened to Noodle? What happened to Slugworth? What happened to the girl? Like, is she gonna? We see her with her mom. We see everyone get a happy ending. But I wanted her to be like, and then she grew up to be a chocolatier. Even Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompa, and finally at the end, he's going to start working with Willy. And I love where he goes, I want to make so much chocolate. We can't just have a storefront. We can't just have a shop. We're going to need a factory. And it was just like, it was so perfectly done that I'm gushing. I'm gushing about this movie. And I don't know if it was my favorite movie so far, but I think it's up there. I'm an easy mark for musical comedies. What can I say? And he just was so good. Timothy Chalamet was so good as, I believe he is, the Mess Hadib or whatever the hell they call him in Dune. But then I believe he's a young chocolatier, Willy Wonka, who makes magical chocolate with his little magical chocolate. He steals cocoa beans. I think they said he's like, this Oompa Loompa chased him down because he stole 4 beans. The whole thing was 4 beans. And now he needs to pay him back tenfold, which was 10,000-fold or something like that. That was fun. Just all of it. Like, even when the villains, some of the villains, will kill them dead, are definitely evil. But even them, they're doing it in such a way that you enjoy disliking them. You enjoy their villainy. I mean, they're not just the villains. They're quote unquote villains. Like the villainy of things. They want to drown you in their chocolate. Even Rowan Atkinson as this priest, who the church covers the hidden chocolate cartel that delves out chocolate. Keegan-Michael Key as the police officer. I also like that it's kind of an undisclosed location, which I'm guessing, Willy Wonka, they never really said London. And it felt like it should be London, but wait a second, Charlie and Grandpa Joe all spoke English, so you assumed, and it was the big deal, maybe it was supposed to be in America? This felt like London, but not everyone was British. A lot of people had American accents, including Willy Wonka, Noodle, the police officer, Keegan-Michael Key, who I love that he's getting bribed by chocolate. And then throughout the movie, you just see him getting fatter and heavier, and it's just like, at one point he's like, the car got smaller. He couldn't get out of the car. And he had a sidekick, a police officer, and it was Officer Affable. Like, he was just affable. He's like, going through, but he actually ended up being a good cop at the end. All the people who lived, who were stuck in the boarding house and were trying to work off their debt. The older guy, I recognize. I guess he's from Downton Abbey. I don't know if I think I just recognize him from that. But he has a really cool voice. All the people there were good, and I love their names. It was like he was Crunch, and he was a number cruncher. There was like the phone woman had some like the bells. The comedian had some sort of joke, like a chuckle. I forget his name. And the woman who was a plumber, it was like Piper Benz or something. Like, it was just, everything was very just well planned, well done in this hyper realistic kind of fantasy, once upon a time, fairy tale world and dealing with characters that we've known, for decades. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I think it came out in the 60s, but as a child of pretty much the 80s, it was one of those things where I thought it was a movie from my childhood. That's how much it was on. That's how much it resonated with the kids of my youth. I thought it was maybe late 70s, early 80s. I don't know. I shouldn't say. I really didn't think when it was, but it just felt like, oh, Willy Wonka was one of our movies, but it really wasn't. It's like when I was a kid, we watched The Brady Bunch. It was on all the time, but that was from like the late 60s, early 70s, right? But it was on all the time, every day in the 80s, so it felt like one of your shows, a contemporary show for our generation, but it wasn't. Same thing with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Oh my God. I'm not sure what I like that the director, was it Paul King? Is that his name? I think something King. He said he went back and read the original book just to kind of, refresh himself, and he was like, wow, I was surprised how much, how deep some of these the work is in these books. And I've never read it. I've never read any doll book, but I liked, it's funny, I was about to say this kind of reminded me of Matilda, or I might have mentioned the Matilda musical, or even the old Matilda show. Well, there you go. Roald Dahl, right there. James and the Giant Peach, I remember loving that movie. Yeah. These worlds, these stories by Roald Dahl are just, they're wonderful, 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 wonderful. Now, you may be asking, why are you recording again on your handheld device, on your phone, while walking your dog? And number one, it guarantees that I have a good 20 minutes, whatever, to just kind of quietly talk to you. And she's not going to disrupt me because she's walking with me. She's doing a great job, by the way. She is kicking ass. But number two, I have limited time today. Now, I could do this later tonight, but I wanted to get it recorded so that I can work on everything later tonight. I probably won't get the episode out until later, but I wanted to get the recording aspect of it done. I watched this movie, 6:30 or so. My pup got me up at 5, and we fell back asleep till 6, and then I got up, fed her, took her out, and put on the movie, and just been smooth sailing since then. I've been thinking about it all day. It's just, I love it. But after I finished watching the movie, I went to I went to the bakery, not to get chocolate, but I did get some chocolate cookies, and I got a big old birthday cake because today we are celebrating my mother-in-law's 80th birthday. The official birthday was last week. I'm sure I mentioned this already. We took her out shopping. We took her for ice cream, but today's the actual birthday, so we're having people over. Well, we're not having people over. We're going to my brother's house. My brother and I are married to sisters, so we share in-laws. So we're going to the house, and she lives with them half the year. Half the year she's in Florida, where I drive her and bring her back, but the other half of the year she has an in-law apartment, and it's literally 500 steps. I know that because it's 1,000 steps to the house and back from where I live. So very easy. The whole family's within like a block of each other. But anyway, today's the day. Today's the party. Got the cake, dropped it off. All I cared about, my brother's like, oh. I go, hey, if you drop it, I don't care. Once it's in your hands, I don't care. I paid for it, but I don't care. Once it's in your hands, it's your responsibility, and I'm off the hook. But it was funny, the bakery, she worked there. Like I think right when she retired, she worked there during a Christmas season to help them out. So I said, a birthday girl used to work here. And she's like, oh my goodness, have her come by. So I might take her by the bakery at some point. But come on, little lady. You know, it's funny, I talk about musical. How many times do I say it's funny? I feel like that's my new crutch. It's funny, though. I talked about musical comedies and liking musicals, and, you know, we got my mother-in-law for her birthday gift back in September, before she leaves for Florida. This September, not back in September, this upcoming September. My wife and I are taking her to see Mamma Mia. But don't spoil it, okay? She doesn't know what a podcast is, so she will not hear this. But don't track her down and tell her this, because we still have, it's 1:39 as I'm recording this. Actually, by the time you hear this, she already knows. Probably. She maybe, unless I put it on early. But the party's at 4. Hopefully I'll be done by 4:45. Probably not. Old people, though, they get tired quick. Anyway, we're taking her to see Mamma Mia at some opera house in Boston on a football Sunday. I was like, okay, I can deal with that, I suppose. But I have to be a good boy. I have to be a good husband and a good son-in-law. So that's what I'll do. Oh, cool. Right now there's all these guys riding bikes on the rail trail. But one of them has those, what they call them, incumbent, I don't know what they call them. The bikes you're like almost laying down in. Hi, how you doing? And he uses it for transportation because he has a little basket on the back with some toilet paper in it. So he just went shopping. All right, where are you going? My dog wants to keep walking. So listen, I think I'm done. I don't know if I nailed it, but I definitely talked about this movie, and I don't want to, there's really not much to spoil. It's Willy Wonka. There's some people who don't like him showing up out of nowhere. It's the chocolate cartel, and they want to stop him from selling his chocolate because it's so dang good, just like this movie. But and if you like musicals, then it's right up your alley. It's on Max. So you could go stream it right now. Come on, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? My dog, something's on the ground she really likes. You want to get up? You want to get up? All right, let's go. Oh, maybe it's not just transportation because he just drove by me again with the same toilet paper. I thought he was riding home. Maybe he uses the toilet paper as added weight. Not much for resistance. I don't know. Maybe there's a method. I got to look up toilet paper bicycle resistance method. Okay, little girl, we're done here. We're turning around. I'm done with my podcast. We can go now. So, all right. This is going to get 5 stars on Letterboxd easily. Oh, wait, one more thing. At the end when all of a sudden you hear the bells chiming, like he's about to say, "Oh, it's time. We've tracked down your mother." She was alive. She's a librarian because this girl loves books. And then at the very end, the bells are chiming, and it didn't even connect that's triggering Pure Imagination. Like, wait a second, I think that's from the original Pure Imagination. And all these original songs the entire time. Then he turns and looks right at the girl and goes, "Come with me." And I just melted. I was like, oh my God, I love it. All right, listen, I'm all done here. You can find me on Letterboxd, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Mastodon.social, Blue Sky, and did I say Instagram? All the fun places at Geek Mentality. The Facebook page is Fans Not Experts. The YouTube channel is Fans Not Experts. And the website is fansnotexperts.com. I've gone on far too long, and here is my theme song. This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this. episode.
Not experts.
Oompa loompa doompa dee doo. I had to pick up some doggy poo. What do you get?